Good morning, everybody. Jeff here with On the Chain. Another wild week in crypto. And honestly, the only thing more chaotic than the charts, Chip, are the maxis. There's a lot of maxis out there. Bitcoin maxis, XRP maxis, maxis for every flavor. And I'll tell you what, maximalism might be the single worst business model in the entire industry. What does that say for the maximalists? Not sure. Ripple Swell 2025 wrapped up. Big institutional signals. That's right. Huge payments, custody, stable coins, the actual grown-up rails that will actually move crypto forward, not the YouTube fanboys and the speculators. David Schwartz dropped some gems on X. Saylor, the big Bitcoin guy, kept the timeline entertaining, and geopolitics is doing its best to keep markets on edge. Now, if you're new here, do us a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and welcome to the chaos. We've got a lot to break down today.
Yeah, and welcome everybody. I'm Chip. Yeah, Jeff, the absolutely right. The maximalism, basically, probably my dad can beat up your dad of crypto. My dad's better. I'll punch you in the face. That kind of stuff. Meanwhile, the real whiners are the people not throw punching each other on X. They're watching institutions quietly plug away at blockchain into the global financial system. Ripple's messaging is Swell, the institutional on-ramps, the custody rollout. These are actually the signals that matter. Signals versus noise. I'll mix all that with geopolitical pressure cooker. We're staring at a setup for a major shift in global liquidity. So grab your coffee, smash that like button if you haven't already, and let's jump into it. Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
Welcome to On the Chain, everybody. Welcome. Look, I'm sporting my XRP community shirt, fresh off of the XRP community event.
There you go.
In New York City, where I met lots of you family out there. And New York's an interesting place on many levels, but I met a lot of cool people there, a lot of fun people. And just thought that was a little bit crowded, too crowded for me. It was a little bit, you're kind of when you're walking like this and it just, But then I realized that you could go all the way up to the rooftop and it was super chill up there. But I didn't discover that till like much later. There was one tiny little elevator. I'm like, what is that? I thought it was to go down. And I was like, we're only on the second floor. Like, and I didn't realize it went to the top, and it was a beautiful night up there. And it was, part of it was open, outdoors, rooftop. Part of it was enclosed.
Oh, sweet.
But it was really nice up there. And I was like, why didn't I discover this? It was a pretty cool event. And next year's Swell is going to be even better, only because of the it's open to everybody. So it's not going to be like, you just basically sign up. And I don't know where they're going to have it, but it's going to be massive. I think if I saw 700, 1,000 people just show up for an event, and I think the place was just a little bit too small to hold that XRP community event. If I think that, there's going to be probably 5,000 to 10,000 plus people at this event. And since it's in New York City, it's easy access. People can get there from Europe, and, people always want to go to New York. I can see, people even from the West Coast coming over, I can see the OTC family going up there. I can see us piling up there and doing our thing. Miami people, Miami to New York, bam.
Or no, we should host it in Miami, the Miami Convention Center. Yeah,
well, they had Swell last year in Miami, which would have been perfect, Jeff, because it would have been like a drive there versus the having to fly up to New York City.
But then they hosted
it was in my own backyard. I was denied entry, but then up in New York City. So, but you take it when you can get it. Look, you can't let everybody in, Jeff. You can't let any riffraff in.
No.
Blame them for
any. Keep up the riffraff. I was
very fortunate to be able to do that. More debt, more spending, more idiocy equals maximalism. It's all stupid. It's all stupid.
Zober's out in Colorado.
Maximalism blew up CarMax. There you go. What did CarMax go under?
No, it's still around. Oh. I think. I don't know.
Maybe it did blow up. I don't know.
Were they too Toyota centric?
I don't know. I bought my Toyota from CarMax.
Yes. There you go.
Well, my wife's car we got from CarMax. We looked everywhere, dude. We found this car that had like 6,000 miles on it. It still had that new car smell. Some lady just kept it in her garage for a couple of years, 2-3 years, whatever. And it's like,
Well,
And price wise, you know, we needed a car, and like we looked everywhere. I looked in private ownership, everything else. Everybody else had stuff that same year for, you know, 60, 70,000 miles, priced higher. And I was like, what's the catch over CarMax? It was, they had the best price and the most loaded up features. So
6,000 miles.
6,000 miles. Yeah, we got it.
It's basically a manager special. Go into a dealership and take the manager's car that sometimes it's a loaner, sometimes it's the manager's car, and it'll have 4,000 miles on it. Something
and
like that.
It was only three. It was like 3 years old at the time, I think. 3 years old. I want to say 3 years old at the time.
It's amazing.
A little over 3 years old. It was crazy, man.
What a deal.
And like I saw it, I'm like, no, this can't be right. There's going to be some kind of catch or whatever, you know, something's wrong here. And it was weird because I still had that new car smell. You open up that, and the new car smell just boom hits you in the face.
That's awesome.
It's like, because you know they can't. They always say like, you ever see that scent you can spray new car smell? Never smells like new car.
It does not. It does not smell like new car.
It smells like some kind of institutional cleaners. I don't know. It smells horrible.
And the new car smell is actually all the toxic chemical buildup that's in the Chinese plastic moldings,
which I love.
Exactly. Everybody loves it.
I want to put more of that in there. It's the great thing.
Need more toxic chemical.
Like beautiful, you know. That's fantastic.
Or fresh leather. If you have good leather seats, they'll keep that.
Yeah, that leather too.
It's
funny. I bought these. I got these shoes to go up to. They're like these leather shoes, and I had them in my office. When I walked in my office, my whole office smelled like leather. Then I put them in my closet. The whole closet smells like leather. I had them in my. I couldn't fit them in my bag anymore, so I put them in my backpack. Now my freaking backpack smells like leather. I'm like, what the hell, dude? It's like what I liked about them is they're made in the U.S. They're a little bit pricey, but they're nice. They're called the Thursday Boot Company, and they're a low rider, just black.
Oh, the Thursday, and I have a pair of Thursday shoes. They're the best. Those Thursday shoes are awesome.
You have them, right?
I do have a pair. Yeah,
they're made really well.
They're made really well. They're really, really amazing because they have proper leather sole and then leather. They're
really well done. I mean, they're handcrafted. It's like, you know, that's why you smell the leather. It's not this, you know, fake stuff. It's like, it reminds me when you were a kid, you get like a leather shoes, you could smell the leather and tanning and all that. That's what we need. Yeti cologne.
A Yeti cologne line.
Well, we got to have a Yeti whiskey first, though, before we get into the cologne. But that's my first wish if we had.
Well, if you do the cologne, it's got to have like a smoky, kind of leathery scent to it.
Yeah, it'll be called, you know, it'll be called Bourbon Smoky Yeti or leather. That's what it'll be. Because you ever go to like those, you know, now they got these designer soaps, so you can go and buy these designer soaps, and it smells like you pick it up and you're like, this one's leather, this one's bourbon, this one's I don't know, like they're all these like musty smells. Yeah, like I don't know, man. When I clean, I don't want to smell like leather. I want to smell like clean. You know, just give me a clean smell. Just give me a fresh smelling clean something. I don't know,
like palm olive.
I don't want to be washing up with
leather and bourbon.
What the hell's wrong with these people? Anyway, you mentioned the Swell wrap. They did
that's right.
They burnt coffee bean. That's not bad either. That might be even better, Jim.
Like coffee.
I'm liking the way I'm liking the sound of that a lot.
Now, if you smell like coffee all day, you'd be like, "Oh, it smells so good. I smell like coffee.
I smell great."
Well, it smells great.
A friend of ours she lives in Colombia, so she got me this, which is just the most amazing thing ever. It's a coffee spray. You just spritz it,
man.
And then everything smells like coffee. I just make sure
around you just spray it. Oh man!
You see?
Well, I can see it, but we can't.
You know what it tastes? What it tastes? It's
scratch and sniff.
It smells like God, man, my whole man. It just smells like coffee. It's funny because I've sprayed it before. My wife's walking in the house. She goes, "Wow, it really smells like coffee in here." I'm like, "That's right."
All right.
So, and it's strong too. You only need like one spritz, and the whole. I might have 2 sprays might have been too much, Jeff. I'm just saying it might have been a little too much. But let's watch this video that Reinhard Kate's team put together over there at Ripple. This is a great rap video. Really good job. I love the pacing of this video. I love how well it's put together and orchestrated. It tells a story. These short form videos are really difficult to do. Ooh, a spritz of badassery. Hello. Hello now. Hey now.
Well, the cologne just needs to be called badassery.
There you go. Badassery, bitches. There you go.
Badassery, bitches.
Badassery, bitches. Let's go. Here we go.
Ripple has been leading from the front for over a decade.
Like,
Despite regulatory headwinds, we never stopped building. And today, the world isn't just embracing the potential of crypto, but showing up in full force. So if you're here, you're already helping set the stage for the rest to follow. That's what Swell is all about.
Blockchain technology can really streamline post-trade processes across the world, which then frees up capital.
The ultimate vision of every investor in the world is holding whatever assets they want exposure to in their wallet. It's a very exciting vision that is very democratizing.
We need to have our eyes on the prize, which is 24/7 instant settlement. That's where we're going to solve all the frictions that exist in traditional finance.
We can take some of that friction out, bring new products to market. So that's really positive for the actual economy and drives growth.
We see stablecoin like in RLUSD as a way to enable payments, and that interconnectivity between the treasury market and the stablecoin market is pretty remarkable.
This is clearly the path of the future. Crypto will be at the core of all financial services.
Ripple has been ready for this moment. I'm thrilled you are on this journey with us.
Really well done. I was seeing if I was in any shots. And the one shot I'm way in the back, but you can't really see. But it was quite the event. It was fantastic. Really well done. There's actually one scene in here where I'll turn this down. But there's one scene where I just happened to be standing there I was talking with Santiago Velez, and we were at this sort of like after party thing that happened on Tuesday night, and it was at the at this Spanish restaurant. And I saw the banners there, but I didn't really see. So I saw the guy jump in front of me and start shooting this stuff. But I was sitting there, and when this happened, I was sitting there hanging out with John Deaton and Santiago. And this guy was like, I was standing right here when this happened. I didn't know it was a stage. I just, they gave away awards at this thing, and then they took pictures, and then this is from that event. So I was like, man, I was standing right there. I saw the dude. He was everywhere. He was in and out of the seats and taking shots everywhere. And they put together a nice video. It's really nice. Exciting, Jeff.
Exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Visual Vendetta says, I love all the good news about Ripple. The question is, where's this all finally going to be implemented so we could finally get paid? Well, we saw the ETF, one of the most successful ETFs of the year, launch. And I think it surprised a lot of people. We saw people talking about it that normally don't talk about Ripple, that normally don't talk about XRP in general. But these are people that when I say they don't talk about the Ripples or the XRPs of the world, they're just not that type of person. But I got to say that they did a really nice job of sort of addressing it. So it was pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed, man. Pretty cool.
Indeed.
Morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Steve's in here. What's going on, Steve? Good morning. Zora's here. Kelly's here. Everyone's here. The team is here. Chad. Jimmy D cracked corn and nobody cared. That's his. I'm laughing because that's his online handle. But for the most part, it was quite the event, man. I really enjoyed being there. I really enjoyed speaking and meeting a lot of different people. I met so many people in industry, lots of people, just from all every corridor. There are a lot of people from outside the U.S. there as well, and that was probably the most fun thing, is connecting with people, also meeting some people from the community, meeting other influencers that were there. So it was a really great time. So next year, I imagine we'll see a lot of you guys there, since it's going to be open to pretty much anybody. So I wanted to dissect something to get into something here that you teased in the beginning, which is David Schwartz. I didn't have a chance to talk to David. He was always pretty hammered. He's in high demand there's always a line for 6 people deep trying to talk to him. I'm like, I'm not
You're
gonna be that guy.
always
I met him in New York, 2 years ago. I don't need to be that guy. Same with Brad. I was like, he walked out. I did have a nice chance to chat a little bit with Monica Long on that very first opening night party, and I had a really nice conversation with Ashish Burla. He's really accessible guy, really down to earth, really a lot of fun. Trying to get him on the podcast. He said he'll come on, so just a matter of sort of getting it scheduled. So
definitely got to get that worked out.
So I did reach out to him, and we'll see what happens here. Here we go. Yo. Good morning. Get your coffee there, Steve. It's your badassery coffee ready to go. Okay, Jeff. Well, let's get into this story here. Let's go into this because this is what David Schwartz is great at. This is his forte. You're not going to out wordsmith David Schwartz in any time, especially when it comes to crypto, XRP, or the general ecosystem. So here's this guy, Matthew Siegel. He's a recovering CFA. There he is right there. He's also the head of digital assets research at Van Eck. So kind of a dude that's got a pretty solid title, right? I mean, he's the Van Eck. And so I think Van Eck was one of the ones that didn't want anything to do with XRP. I don't know if that's it or not. So he says, "Dear XRP Maxis, this isn't a good look when you start off your post with Dear XRP Maxis. I may never understand what your blockchain actually does." Remember to keep in mind, this guy is the head of digital assets research, right? And did I freeze again? I don't know what's going on with my computer here. It's really messed up.
Yeah, you did freeze. You're frozen.
Let me go come back real quick. Hang on a second.
We're in the middle of talking.
I don't understand why this does this. Like my browser's all.
Now I got to open the article. Where'd you go? Where'd Chip go? Chip left. All right. So Chip is gone. So while Chip's gone, you know what we're gonna do? Because I didn't have the keep file open. Typically, one or the other has to have the keep file open to have the articles posted.
Here we go.
Oh, you're back already. All right. I'm trying to get to the keep file in case you freeze up again.
Yeah. Well,
I gotta have these
going on with Chrome. I did an update for Chrome and it just keeps crashing on me. It's really messed up.
There we go. Got them.
So I don't understand what your blockchain does. Always respect the passion required to pretend it does something. So keep hustling. Pretend. Okay. It's a very aggressive post to start off with. Keep pretending you don't get it for engagement, and then blah 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 blah. He says, "Cool initiative, but does any of this actually accrue value to the XRP token holders? Not aware of any fee capture, revenue share, burn, or economic linkage. I think maybe I'm not smart enough to understand, but I'll keep trying to learn and update my views." David Schwartz came in and said, "You asked what the blockchain actually did. You got an answer. Your response is you couldn't get passive income from it. Is the blockchain ethos no middleman, be your own bank, or is it I can't tax other people for passive profit? I don't care about it." Just destroyed. And then he came back and said, well, if XRP holders aren't earning anything from the ecosystem, the protocol doesn't accrue value, who's the one collecting the tax? Now, let me remind everybody, this is the guy, head of digital assets research at Van Eck. Okay. He wants to know who collects the tax.
Who's making the money, essentially.
Yeah, but what planet is this guy living on? David Schwartz says there really is no tax. You can use XRP to issue assets, trade them, issue NFTs, make payments, and so on. The closest thing to a tax is the transaction fee and reserves that serve as the anti-spam measure. The ledger is a public good that belongs to everybody. Nobody has any special right to charge you for it, and there's no sense owned or controlled by XRP holders. Holding XRP gives you XRP, full stop. Think of it like Bitcoin that somehow magically works without needing transaction fees to pay for its energy requirements, and also supports additional features like stablecoins, a decentralized exchange, NFTs, and so on. Moon Lambo said, "No one's collecting tax." What a retarded question. So anyway, that's the...
people are making money off of this.
I mean, it's like if you don't know what it, I mean, how can you? You're the guy that's in charge of digital assets research, and you can't even do a couple simple Google searches. That's a little bit lame, Jeff.
The one thing that gets me in the whole conversation, the grander scheme of things, people talk about the Not the infinite. What's the opposite of infinite? The lack of. What's the opposite of infinite? The de-infinite. I can't know, like the scarcity.
Scarcity. There you go.
That's so funny. People talk about the scarcity of these assets, right? There's only ever going to be whatever's left of Bitcoin now, right? 18 million. But let's say with XRP, there was 100 billion, whatever the number is. But the question is, whatever's left now, is there truly a scarcity of asset? Does the valuation of these assets actually have to finite? There we go. Finite, limited, scarcity, finite. So the question is there truly a finite or a limited, or is there scarcity of these assets? Because if you have within every XRP, there's what, 1 million drops. So if you have 1 million drops within an XRP, do you need a whole XRP? Can you value the drops differently? If you can divide one XRP 1 million times, is there really a scarcity of asset? Is there really a scarcity of Bitcoin if you can do the same thing and you break it down into this much larger number? So we're not really limited at this point with Bitcoin with 18 million, because you can break each Bitcoin down into every Satoshi, and each Satoshi then has a valuation. So how exactly do we leverage and position all of these different crypto assets when you can break them down into such a small number? We talk about, is maybe at some point no one's ever going to own one full Bitcoin, but you're going to own a fraction of at some point, because it's going to be cost prohibitive. And we've talked about, even with an XRP asset, could it become cost prohibitive to own one? Because if you break down that one into 1 million times, at some point, they're going to stop mining on the Bitcoin, but you still you have to continue, because you have to continue with the transaction. You still have to be able to process each transaction with it. Whereas with the XRPL, it's all happening right now in real time. And has to be XRP being burnt, and so it's like this, the whole narrative of everything can really be turned on its head. And we keep thinking about these digital assets in terms of whole stock. So we think about, if I have to go buy, typically you're not buying fractional shares of a stock, you're buying a whole stock. And so we perceive, and the mainstream attention looks at each one of these assets in a whole format as well, which I think is, another reason, that's driving us to the ETFs, because people want to own something whole. And they're like, well, I can't own a whole Bitcoin. I don't have 100,000. If I can only buy one Bitcoin, that there's high risk involved in owning that one Bitcoin. But if I can own the ETF, and I can own 1,000 shares of that ETF at $80 a share, that's different. So it's all on this perception. So I'm just, trying to flip this narrative a little bit differently and really have to address it, because we're not in a scarce situation. We have a huge quantity of every one of these assets. Even with Bitcoin, there's a huge volume.
Exactly,
just a different way of thinking about it. And it's just,
well, also too, people that have a 401k or something, some sort of a vested account, brokerage accounts. This is another way for people to participate. And quite honestly, when you see so many people getting hacked and losing crypto, and really smart people, people that I respect and I know that have lost crypto, again, man, it's like, to think you're above that'll never happen to me, you're wrong. It can happen to anybody. When I see it happen to, like, Darren Moore, who got hacked and lost a bunch of stuff, a moment of weakness, you clicks the wrong thing and he got wiped out pretty much of his whole stash. And this is a guy who's one of the best voices, in the XRP community. He's really, he's done tons of research. He's brought so much value. And to think like, oh, well, he did something. When you see someone like Stefan Tomas, is like former chief tech officer of Ripple, losing $500 million in Bitcoin. You're like, well, that'll never happen to me. I'm not a guy that believes in this not your keys, not your crypto shit. Okay, there's not a good solution for this. Now, I've always said the banks, if they were able to do, we need a institutional custody for retail, someone you can call, someone you can talk to about your crypto, something where that you can, they're not, multi, sig type of thing where you can't move it unless you have two voices and this and that. It's just too easy. This is what's wrong with crypto right now. You see good people getting hurt. See a guy who spent his whole entire life getting ready to retire and he's losing $1 million, XRP. I'm sorry, man. This can't go on. You can't allow this kind of stuff to go on. When, and people are always like, well, you're a legend. I have cold storage wallets too. I'm scared to death to look at them, man. I'm scared to death to put it on a computer that even accesses the internet, like that even has. Yeah, absolutely. Like that. What happened to Darren? And Darren's a good dude. I had the privilege of meeting him up in New York 2 years ago. He's a good guy, man. I love the guy. And it's like, just that whole thing makes you read his, and he did a great video on how it happened. I mean, you know how painful that is to know that you got your stash hacked, you lost all that money, and to still go and show people what happened to warn them,
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I mean, Caleb and Brown and I trust, yeah, those are, I trust, Caleb and Brown's more like the kind of custody solution that I'm kind of talking about. I'm not recommending anybody over another one, but I'm saying that, to me, I would rather have, you guys will laugh at this, but I'd rather have somebody who's a regulated entity who reports to the SEC, who's a publicly stated stock that offers a custody solution. Why? Their chances of failing are a lot slimmer. Right? Private companies, who knows? We saw it happen with Link2. Everyone's like, Link2, gonna buy Ripple shares. Ripple's like, we're never going public. We have $11 billion sitting on the sidelines. We just raised $500 million. They've been, effed with the SEC for 4 years. Sure, let's sign up to mess with the SEC some more. As a public company, you'll always be under the thumb of the SEC. Now, this new clarity bill that's coming out, the SEC will have this much to do. That's smaller than a hair. That's how much they're going to have to do with crypto. I couldn't be more happy. It's going to be the CFTC regulating it. Say goodbye to the SEC pretty permanently. You sleep at night with eToro. I'm out of BTC and I'm in XRP. All right, good for you. Listen, and we're not maxis here. Jeff and I believe in the grander ecosystem. And I always say, never forget the man who dug the well. That well was dug by Bitcoin, and Bitcoin, to sit there and be against Bitcoin, because I lost 2 hours of my life getting into an argument with somebody from the community who I like a lot, from the XRP community, telling me that Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme. And I explained exactly why it's not a Ponzi scheme. There's no central authority. It's completely transparent. And there's nobody. You're not paying out the next guy with the new money in. He goes, it relies on new money in. I'm like, well, what if people stop buying stocks? What if people, like, it's a dumb argument, but it went back and forth and back and forth. Other people jumped in, and the guy's holding strong to his position, which I wholeheartedly disagree with. Like, it's not. Now, you can not dislike Bitcoin, fine, but to sit there and tell people it's a Ponzi scheme when you don't even understand the definition of a Ponzi scheme. When I clearly spelled out the 3 tenets, what a Ponzi is, they couldn't do it. Jim D says, didn't Caleb and Brown just get bought out? They did.
It did get bought out, but that's going to happen. That's part and parcel of, what's happening, across the board in the industry. And we're definitely going to see more of it. Right. So here you have crypto exchange SwiftX acquires US focused Caleb and Brown in $100 million plus deal. It's a big deal for sure, but you have to see at some point a consolidation of all of these different exchanges, and many have said, we kind of entered that Wild West space with crypto where anything that was crypto related, would get money or at least make money, or we have the ICOs and then you had the memes and the meme coins and all of this different noise within the space, lots and lots of speculation. All the big boys are now coming to the table. eventually one's going to get bought out by the other, which is one of the reasons why, from the beginning, we talked about which is coming first. Are the banks going to start buying up crypto exchanges, or are the crypto exchanges going to start buying up the banks? Which one gets bigger first and faster? And we're starting to see all of that consolidation. And it's the same thing with the exchanges. The exchanges have to compete with one another. The big players on the scene, like a Coinbase, or a Gemini, or what have you, you can look across the world. There's Brisbane based SwiftX, obviously putting a foot into the U.S. market, buying Caleb and Brown because they're focused primarily for a U.S. market. It's a major deal, and obviously they're not even based in the U.S. because here their head offices in Melbourne. And so you think about, if you want to consolidate your footprint, your global footprint, and you have to figure out where the money is. Are you going to buy an exchange where there's no money? Or are you going to buy it where there's a huge opportunity? Because there's and we're going to see more and more consolidation. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't see, Chip, I don't see any issue with these companies consolidating and buying. Why? Because the smaller the exchange, the higher risk of exposure you have for the investors. The bigger the wrong one.
I will say this, Jeff. I do have one thing. Put that back on the screen for a second. I do have one thing. Zoom in on the name of the exchange, please. Zoom in as big as you can on the name of the exchange.
Which one?
Right there. I don't think it's a good look to have the word FTX in your exchange name. Oh. Just saying, okay? I just I don't know. I'd probably think about changing my name of my exchange if I had the word FTX was a failed exchange in there. It just doesn't, not a good look, man. I'm sorry. Yeah. Just probably not a good idea. So who was it that mentioned that? I think it was Kelly that mentioned that Matt Hamilton had a good take on this too. So the guy was saying, if you're not earning anything in the ecosystem, is collecting the tax. Matt Hamilton said, "Are you really trying to say that you don't understand the whole point of crypto?" Yeah, the digital assets research guy doesn't understand what crypto is. Here's another one I dug up. He said, at some point, you're working in digital assets, supposedly, you're going to have to take the time to understand what a blockchain is. Otherwise, people are going to start asking you some awkward questions at work.
I got to go grab this call real quick.
All right. Look at Jeff's taking calls during the show. This is unbelievable. Here we go. All right, look at this one here. So here the whole bunch of things. If XRP is decentralized, why does it have missing ledgers? Shouldn't the ledger be widely distributed? Why would any country use a ledger with missing transactions? Well, Matt Hamilton said, if Bitcoin's decentralized, why did it print 184 billion Bitcoin and need manually rewinding by its creators? Shouldn't it be widely distributed? Boom. See, you can play that game all day long. You want to play games? You can play games all day long. So it's, I love the fact that Matt, you're not going to get much by Matt. Matt's probably one of the greatest authorities speaking about the XRP, because, he understands it. You have to have a general understanding to be able to hit people with stuff. Now, we've gotten to some tips before because we don't agree on politics, and that's okay. So I admire the fact that Matt is like a great voice. I've had the pleasure of meeting him a couple of times, a great guy. And yeah, we don't agree on certain things. That's okay. But I'll tell you, when it comes to crypto, the guy knows his stuff, and you're not gonna, if you don't understand what crypto is, I mean, this is the people are gonna start asking you awkward questions at work. Like, you don't understand blockchain, you don't understand crypto, but you're the digital assets, not heading up digital assets, the digital assets research guide, Van Eck. That's very troubling, Jeff, on so many levels. But I'll tell you what's not troubling. Halfway through the show right now, we are at the 33 mark. Guys, the word today is Yeti. I want to remind everybody it is not rigged. If you're typing in rigged, you're wrong. Rigged is wrong. Yeti is ready. Yeti.
Yeti is ready.
Yeti is ready. Rigged is wrong. There you go. We had 5 people in there. 6 for the drawing.
Because everyone thought it was rigged. Half the people thought it was rigged. Half the people thought it was Yeti. We're rigging it. And it's now
they're starting to type it in now. I see Jeff knows. Jeff knows. Jeff knows. Fred's in there. Of course. See, there's all. Now we're getting up to 8. All right, we're getting there. I want to get to 20 today.
We're going to
Speaking of FTX, says Visual Vendetta, I heard SBF was let out of prison. I'm not sure if that's true. I hadn't heard that. It would be a big story if it was.
I know he was trying to get out.
He's been trying to get out since he got in. Because they'll launch another exchange, and who knows.
So for today's drawing what we're going to be doing. We minted one of the songs again. So this is called Cuteness Kills. So this, I love the fact that you can do an NFT of music. I think it's the coolest thing.
Badass, man.
So cool to be able to do this. And it was so easy to go through the minting process compared to what we went through to do an entire, to do the whole NFT series. To do a one-off is just the whole process is so much more streamlined because you only have the one. But anyhow, so we're giving this guy away here. He's part of the White Tribe. This is Badass Yetis of the White Tribe. The song is Cuteness Kills, the Ash Yetis anthem. So let me play that. Chip, you're gonna have to mute yourself because we're getting feedback on the mics. I'll mute myself as well.
Okay. Oh, we don't hear you. We don't hear the song.
Oh, because I muted myself.
Don't mute yourself. I'll mute myself.
Here we go.
From the heart of chaos, they rose. The Ash Yetis from the White Tribe. Born from lava, raised for destruction, rigged for fire. They stand their ground. Molten souls, forged in a furnace of fury. Cuteness is their camouflage, violence is their core. Their fur sizzles with heat of passion. Their stare cuts through your heart. They are the storm, they are your fear. From ashes to rage, they rise again. That's not thunder. That's badassery, burning under. They don't fight fair, they fight final. Every claw primal, every step vital. Cuteness kills, that's the title. Badass Yetis on the chain. Built for battle, made for legend. Claim yours, or be forgotten. Badass Yetis on the chain is on the chain.
Boomers. That was good, man. All right, that's what you guys could win today. We got 10 entries in for Yeti. Type Yeti if you are interested in winning that amazingly banging song.
All right.
That's a badass tune, Jeff.
Okay.
What do you got going on there? Some chatter in the background there? Oh, he was on the call. So he had to mute the call. Just got a lot of business going on today. Doing business on a Saturday morning here on the chain. Doing stuff. So we're going to move right along here, guys. I'm going to go ahead and pull up. Let's see. What did I want to do next? I wanted to pull up something here. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about Michael Saylor. So Michael Saylor, you saw Bitcoin drop. It was like, what was it? It was 126, I think, $1,000. And now if I take a look, if I look on my trusty phone right here, it is now at 96,000. So everyone's making the assumption that with, strategy, his company, at some point he'll get liquidated, blah, 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 blah. So Michael Saylor had something to say about it. And this is what he basically said.
A lot of people don't really think. They're like, oh my God, MicroStrategy is going to get liquidated. And Bitcoin is like, well, dude, no, Bitcoin could go to $1 a Bitcoin. We're not getting liquidated. We're just going to buy all the Bitcoin. If it goes to $1 a Bitcoin, then it's going to go back up again.
He's making a really good point. It's like, just buy more Bitcoin. Some people double down when it's on sale. Some people panic and they sell everything. And that's sometimes what happens too. But, now what happens, this was pretty funny. Let me see if I can find this. Where is the, it drives me crazy when I can't find stuff, but let me look real quick. I know Jeff is off the stream. He's got, I don't know what he's doing, business. I don't know what's happening. He's got a fire he's got to put out. But I wanted to put this one, kind of have a story to tell here. I don't know if it's here. Let me see. Yeah. So with all the criticism, Michael Saylor posted this right here. Let's look at this here. Let's see. Share this. Oh, there it is right there. Yeah. Here it is. So he posted this meme. Basically, you can see the boat in the background is on fire. It looks like the Titanic's, like, sinking. You see it's all on fire. Tons of waves. And there's Saylor in his suit on a dinghy, basically. And what he put in here.
I got to run out to my car real quick.
Holy cow.
Someone trying to get into my office, and we have a key fob, and there's people trying to get in. I had no idea they were doing a training today. They didn't tell anybody. They just showed up at the office, and they're like, "Is anyone going to let us in?" Like, what are you talking about? And so I talked to Joel, called me, and he's just like, "Is anyone letting?" He goes, he didn't tell anyone that he was going to be there.
Are they going to come get the key? What are they doing?
Yeah, I'm just going to run out and put it outside. I'm going to put my key fob. I'll be out. I'll be back in like 2 seconds.
All right.
Okay.
We'll be doing this Michael Saylor story for you. So he put this out, HODL, and there he is right there. I think it's pretty fun. You got to have a pretty good, to make fun of yourself, because he wasn't the original guy that posted it. Somebody, of course, made the meme. This guy here made the meme. Atlas HODL. He made it, or maybe he tagged him. I don't know who actually made it, but there's the lifeboat is what he needed. So I think it's pretty clever of him to be able to post something like that. But of course, the XRP community got a hold of this. And they had their own little fun with this meme, because, you can go into Grok, you can go almost anywhere in AI these days and animate stuff. So here's the first one that somebody took the liberty of creating. Listen, look at this one here. If you see this one, look at this here. So if you could see this, you could see they took the original picture, they animated it, but they put XRP on the boat, right? So now he's got an XRP lifeboat, but I'll describe it for the people listening on the audio podcast side of it. So he's in this life raft. You can hear the music score underneath there. Rocky seas. Here he is. Ship goes down in the background, and boom, he's off to the moon. Just like that. An XRP. Look at that, huh? And let's see. I hope I got a different one here. Let me see. I thought this was a... Let me look here. Did I download the same too? Looks like I did, huh? There was an extra one I was going to show you, but it looked like I downloaded the same too. I thought there was 2 different ones. Let me see if I can access that real quick. But anyway, that XRP community had a little bit of fun with that. You gotta love it when they have a little bit of fun like that. So let me see. I think there's one. I think I can access it. Let's see. Is this it? No, wow. I must have had the same. I know there was a different one. Oh, yeah. Here it is. Okay, guys. Hang on a second. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know why I didn't download the correct one, but I did not download the correct one. This is the right one right here. It's pretty much the same one, just the music score under bed. But it's not going to the moon. I can't replace that. So let's do this. And let's go ahead and load that puppy up here. And I'll grab that guy. Here it is. This is the other one that I want to show you guys. Just rocky seas. Desperate look on its face. There you get the close-up of XRP with the waves. It's pretty amazing what you can do with AI these days. From the original photo right there, and you see the waves bopping up and down, the XRP on the side. He's got his suit on. He's getting wet. I mean, it's incredible. It's so amazing. XRP, water splashes up. Absolutely fantastic. Amazing, I have to say. Amazing. Amazing. So there we go. Let's see what else is going on in the comments over here. What do we got going on? Yeah, it means hold. That's correct. HODL. That's what it means. Hold. Reborn John says, I'm hodling hard. But to be honest, BCB scaring me these days with my XRP. Well, you have to do what you feel right. I mean, blockchain backer is pretty damn spot on a lot of times, reading the market the way he sees it, but there's things that change too that will alter, what he's looking at. But yeah, I wouldn't bet against him. I'll put it that way.
I'm
Been
altering it.
accumulating since 2018, hoping to sell some this year. Finally, yeah. Well, that's the thing. Everyone's been hodling. Everybody's been looking to maybe get rid of it, Jeff, and maybe sell a little bit of it. But you didn't see this last one, Jeff. I'm gonna show it to you again, just so you didn't see what people at the XRP community did with some of these memes. But here's one of them. Put XRP on the like, folks.
Oh my God.
And I mean, you just gotta love the XRP community, man. And then this one here, they did this one here. Look at this one. Here it is. There he goes. XRP to the moon. Yeah. So you just have to just love the community. There's probably a lot more. That's just the two that I happen to see. Crypto Webson from Belgium. What's going on? Welcome. Look
at that.
Epstein story has a lot of shit coming out. Warren, JP Morgan, FTX, DNC, break out the popcorn. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We have some stories here to talk about that as well. But anyway, that's pretty much all we have on the crypto front today, Jeff.
And Chip, the upcoming narco terrorist war that's on the horizon. It's already started.
Off Venezuela, you mean?
Yeah. Imagine the Venezuelans that under Maduro, he's actually trying to call up the army. Like what is the Venezuelan?
Yeah, well,
army
everyone thinks there's going to be some kind of engagement stuff, but I thought this was a pretty appropriate sort of thing. This is Jesse Waters and the whole thing. Even Trump reposted this, but this can say it more succinctly than we could sit there and talk about it. Well, it's essentially what happens was when the shutdown finalized, they had this whole thing with Epstein. Now they're like, what they did. There's just a bunch of tomfoolery. They redacted the name. We already know Virginia Jeffries. She's already been on record saying Trump had nothing to do with it, but they don't care. They're going to invent these narratives. They redacted her name and said victim. They're trying to manufacture a story, pretend these are new emails. They're not.
All they have.
You can go with the unredacted email.
It's what the Democrats do, though. The Democrats just make shit up. If they can't make it up, they invent it anyways.
Well, they have no ideas. That's the point. They're never in the arena of ideas. They never say, like, you know what I think we should do instead? No, it's always complaining about something, shutting something down, controlling something, but it's never about an idea. And if you look at how Obamacare is being exposed and how it just all it did was line the pockets of all these giant health companies, their stocks. Their stocks were trading around, most of them around $30, $40 in 2008. Now they're all in the 300s. And the rates go through the roof every year. And then you can't ever have a Democrat program that works without subsidies. Do you ever notice that, Jeff? And what were they bitching about? They were the ones that had the Obamacare expiring. They were the ones that voted for it, but they don't want it in an election year. They don't want the subsidies going away because that's bad. And on top of it, you got illegals on all this stuff. So there's so much fraud. I mean, the Doge was just doing a small portion. They need to ramp up Doge. They need to expand Doge. They need to get that puppy going.
Yeah. I like the part. Jeff, did you tell him not your keys, not your room? I should have said that.
Not your keys, not your office, bitches.
Not your keys, not your office. Get the hell out of there.
F around, find out, jackasses.
They're out in front of our building, and he's calling me like it's freezing out there or something. Like, it's a beautiful day.
Yeah, like they're locked out. I mean, shit. Yeah, it's
like, why didn't you tell us in advance that you plan on coming to the office?
Right. That would have been a little heads up. Maybe even a call at 7:30 this morning would have been better, right? I mean, that's
exactly. During the week, the front door of the building opens at 7 a.m.
Right.
Otherwise, you need a key fob. Locks at 7 p.m. Weekends locked. Right. They don't want just random people running around in our building, And so there's other offices in the building. We're up on the second floor, but we have key codes and stuff to our doors. But to get in the building, plan ahead. Come by the office yesterday. Pick up the phone, be like, hey. I don't have a key fob. Can I get the key fob so I can get in the front door? Because, by the way, I'm going to be there on Saturday doing some trainings.
Yeah, well, it'd be nice if you knew about the trainings. Like, hey, by the way,
I didn't even know about it.
Did you know you need a key fob to get in the building on the weekend? Because most offices, that's how they work. But if you didn't know that, I'd be happy to explain that to you.
And he knows, he just doesn't think and plan ahead. So I had to go out to the car to go find the key fob. I keep it in my car just in case I end up at the office after 7 p.m. or before 7 a.m. Imagine
They used to happen to me too. When I go to the office, I'll be like, damn, you could, because the only time you need a key fob is like, if you're opening the office, like earlier than the actual building opens. That's the only time you really need it, because you have the key to your office, so you don't really need it. Yeah. Anyway, here's Jesse Waters and the whole thing. I thought he did a great job of breaking this down.
I just want you to forget all about the shutdown shellacking. So they're launching a smear campaign disguised as a bombshell. The Jeffrey Epstein emails. Congress is dumping thousands of documents, and Democrats are using them to frame Trump. But we've been combing through them and can't find anything nailing Trump. Even Axios says the emails contained no real smoking gun. The files do show Epstein's deep ties to liberals, like anti-Trump author Michael Wolff. He colluded with Epstein on how to blackmail Trump. Wolff told Epstein in 2015, if you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the House, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency.
How so?
Why is Wolff giving a pedophile PR advice and coaching him to take down the president? That wasn't the only writer Epstein colluded with. A New York Times reporter gave Epstein a heads up that a former cop was investigating him for a book. That reporter was pushed out of the company after they found he asked Epstein for a $30,000 donation. Larry Summers, who worked for Bill Clinton and Obama, was also pen pals with Epstein. He was asking him for tips on women. Who goes to Jeffrey Epstein for dating advice? Epstein didn't just have ties to the Democrats and the media. He had foreign connections. Before Trump met Putin in 2018, Epstein was pitching himself to the Kremlin, saying he could give Russia insight on Trump, which is weird because if the Kremlin was controlling Trump like the Democrats accused him, why did they need insight? He wasn't just any old rich American. He was well connected to top players all over the world, from Israel to Saudi Arabia. And it wasn't a secret. Epstein went to Clinton's White House 17 times. And Slick Willie was a frequent flyer on the so-called Lolita Express. Clinton and Epstein seemed like pals. But when it comes to Trump, Jeffrey had TDS. I have met some very bad people, none as bad as Trump. Not one decent cell in his body. Trump should wear that like a badge of honor. The slimiest guy in the world hating you is a good thing. Epstein even admitted Trump, quote, never got a massage. The same author Epstein colluded with even said this.
Epstein believed that it was Trump who first informed the police about what was going on at Epstein's house. And from that point on, they were nothing but bitter enemies.
So Trump dropped a dime on Epstein, but Democrats say they're best buds? And that Biden and Obama's DOJ had proof Trump was compromised, but waited 3 elections to keep it a secret? They arrested Trump over bookkeeping and want us to believe they had real dirt and didn't use it.
The Epstein files were in existence and free to have been opened during the Biden administration.
Yep.
You were there for 4 years.
Right. Stephen A.
That's right.
How come you didn't open it as a Democratic Party then?
That's right.
What am I missing?
Ghislaine Maxwell said Trump did nothing wrong. So have Epstein's victims and Epstein's lawyer. And none of these emails implicate Trump. So we're back to square one. Congress is playing games, holding fake votes to drop more files. But that's not going to happen because it's up to a judge and they won't release grand jury testimony. This is now looking more and more like a ploy to divide.
You know, Jeff, I'll be honest with you. Like, why would you want to block the grand jury testimony? Because you don't want it coming out. You don't want people hearing it. It's all just a big ruse. It's like the problem is that they still manipulate people's thinking. There's people out there that don't know what's going on. It's like, okay, so why would you want to block that? And why did you want to block a floor vote to release Epstein files? Like, you know, and like, what are they releasing? Did he have a detailed book that he went to a publisher and he published everything in beautiful order? You can see what this is. Like the Epstein files are what? Well, they just released another 62,000 documents, whatever it was.
Yeah.
and their email. You have to piece it together yourself. There's no like book you open and there's the file. It's like, oh, look at chapter 1 starts. I mean, what are they expecting? It's the part that, and why didn't Biden? And why did they care about that? Because who's implicated in this are probably 80% Democrats. There might be 20% or less of Republicans in there. I'm not saying that dot both sides, but you're going to see who the pedals really are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's a big part of all of it, you know. And you think about, you know, how they hold back on information because they also know that most people, you know, we used to call them vidiots, but now they're, you know, you can call them twidiots, or they're still vidiots, but now people's attention is even shorter. Before it was like anything I watch on TV is true, you know, but now it's all about whatever I can see in a 160 character statement, or I can see not even in a full YouTube video, right? Most of these people don't even watch full YouTube videos. They have to have the shorts. They have to have the TikTok. It has to be information consumed in like 30 seconds or 60 seconds. So the Democrats are master manipulators at all of this because they understand if you can get the headline and you can just tag maybe the first sentence, because no one's even going to read an article. Right? They look at a headline, they look at the first sentence, and they move on with their life. They don't click read more, or, you know, I want to see the whole article. They don't want to see the whole video. They want to see the short, and they'll pull out those type of segments. And that's why they redacted, you know, the information. Yeah, it's all blacked out except for certain things. They're reusing the same information over and over and over again because they're pulling at your emotional strings, right? It's not logic. It's not rational thought. It's all based on emotion. And the Democrats are master manipulators at this. They've done so much over the decades of manipulating people. And now they're continuing with it. Since 2015, they've lied about stuff. They've invented stuff on Trump, but it was all snippets. Right? They talk about Russia, the Russia hoax. He's tied in with Putin. He's controlled by Putin. That's all you have to say, right? No one's going to go and research or read the rest of the article if there is anything. They want those little snippets. It's so easy to manipulate people. I see people within the crypto space all the time that are so easily manipulated by little statements. I'm actually in shock that, you know, people that will do hopefully their due diligence on crypto, you know, will be a little bit more intelligent when it comes to geopolitics and things like that. But even, you know, when we see the maximalism, or, you know, it all filters in the same type of narrative, or they want to listen to the YouTube fanboys because of the speculation, you know, and then they're all in on the speculative aspect because the YouTube fanboy, you know, said something on their channel. But it's just so interesting how little people will take their time to do their own research and just pursue it a little bit further. Just read a little bit more, right? Just understand it a little bit more. But they don't want to do that because they want that snippet. I want to be spoon fed. You know, they want that sugar high. They don't want the energy long term. They just want that little snippet. I just want a sugar high. I just want to eat my chocolate bar, get that sugar high, and crash again, because that's it. That's how my brain is going to function.
Sugar high, Jeff. That's a good
are.
analogy. I like that analogy a lot.
Yep.
Look at this.
Right, there he is again. Hang on.
Scott says I have the Dolph Lundgren look going on. All right, I like that. I'll take that as a compliment. That's really good. We got a little bit of the Jeff rant going here too. I wanted to put this up because Joe, I wanted to sort of. I was with you, but then I realized when I started researching it. Here's what I found out. Pam Bondi, what she made a mistake was announcing it on Fox. What they didn't make the mistake was releasing garbage things that were seeded by Democrats by putting fake stuff in the documents. When they actually started going through them, this is why they call it the hoax. They knew that over 4 years they had all the stuff. They didn't release any of it, so they knew that it was a campaign promise. What did they do? They went in there and they put a bunch of garbage stuff implementing Trump. They put it in there cleverly, and this is why it's taken so long to go through it methodically to pull out the stuff that they seeded, because they were like, oh, you see, Trump released it and it implicates Trump and all the Republicans and this and that, when in fact that's not the case. That's why he calls it a hoax. That's one of the reasons he calls it a hoax. The other problem is that you think they had to make up I mean, just look what happened to the Southern District. Trump lied about the value of Mar-a-Lago. Trump doesn't make that decision. The bank loaned them money. He paid it off early. Everyone testified. And 32 counts he was convicted on, but nobody knows really what it was. You're talking about an accounting error or whatever. The E. Jean Carroll thing, they had to go back and change how far you can go back to prosecute something. They changed the law in the books so that they can make that possible. No dress, no witnesses, no nothing, and a conviction. You think for a second, if they had one shred of they had everything of something on Trump when it came to Epstein, you don't think they'd hang him out to dry on that? 100% since 2015, 100%. So this whole thing is just absolutely just a complete hogwash. So yeah, I mean, did she make a mistake of announcing it? She absolutely did. She was on Fox News again talking about something last night, and someone put out and said Pam Bondi should not be allowed to go on Fox News anymore. Probably a good idea to kind of not do that. Everyone's getting mad because Trump put out mean tweets about Massey, about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Look, I didn't elect either one of those. I voted for Trump. I voted for Trump's agenda. I voted for Trump. Who he wanted to put in his cabinet. People saying that Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, there's no arrest, nothing's happening fast enough. These are the big. This reminds me of the left that their panties are in a bunch. That they're angry because it didn't happen fast enough. You think you get there and you think in like a few months you just like start pushing. But these guys are working overtime. They're in early. They're out late every day. Bongino didn't walk away from $20 million leaving his podcast to go join the swamp. That's not how it went. If you watch Kash Patel, he was the one that investigated it, and he was one of the lead people with Devin Nunes out of California that was uncovered the scam that was the Russian collusion. He was the one that did it. If you don't know who this guy is, if you're not trusting Kash Patel, all this division I see on the right with all these losers and all this stuff about, blame Israel for everything. Well, Israel controls President Trump. No, that's not how it worked. Trump told Netanyahu when to hit it, when not to hit, and when to back off. He told him publicly, back the F off. So you think that he's controlled by Netanyahu? No, it's the other way around. When anytime there was a strike, you don't think any of that was in the interest of the United States? It was all in the interest of the United States, but not only the United States, the entire world. So for people out there to sit there and blame all their problems on, I mean, this is so funny. If you think about Israel, you think about how small it is, you think about, so a little tiny country like that is ruling the entire world, right? And every problem that people have, it's always the Jews' fault. Tucker Carlson, the Jews did this. Meanwhile, Tucker Carlson denounced the hundreds of thousands of Christians that are dying. It's called it. That was a hoax. So I'm sorry. Do I trust this guy? What he's talking about? He can't even do a Google search. He's sitting there barking about the Jews all the time, but he can't even defend the Christians. He claims to be a Christian, but hundreds of thousands of Christians that are dying, getting just completely exterminated. And everyone's like, oh, and then when Trump speaks out about it, they attack Trump. This is insane what's going on right now. And this is what drives me crazy is that people on the right with their they act like the left. Feelings are hurt. Oh my God, he didn't arrest anybody. Listen, we're 9-10 months in, okay? Let's give it some time, people. And the thing about what they're doing with the FBI too, like there was just a big bust in Florida, 150 illegals. They're rescuing these kids. 400,000 kids are missing. They're finding them. They're releasing them. You can't go after these break up these gangs and publicly go out there. What happens to the kids? You have to be able to take care of the kids, rescue the kids first. And every time they're finding children that have been abused, locked up, horrible stuff happening, never hits the media. You got to look hard for it. And so this is what the DOJ is spending time on. This is what the FBI is doing. Not only that, but you get in the FBI and you got people who are constantly in conflict. You got to find out the bad apples. You got to root them out. And do you think there were a lot of them? And Jeff, do you think for 1 second that you're going to come out with an indictment with the way these liberal judges are? Do you think you're going to get a conviction? You're out of your mind. It's going to be wasted. You got one shot to take. And you think that, because nothing's happening on your timeline, you're hurt and your feelings are hurt. This is how the left acts. This is not how the right acts. We didn't spend 4 years in the sideline to think we're going to snap a finger and it's going to happen. That's my rant for today, Jeff. And I'm pissed off about it.
Well, you need to be pissed off about it, because those people on the right and the ones that are getting, pissed about the right, they're just doing mental gymnastics and they're not very good at it. They're kind of like that Australian woman, that was in the Olympics. It was a complete embarrassment, and you think about, how easy it is. It's so easy, like for a Tucker to point his fingers at Israel. I just, from that perspective, I don't get it at all, right? You said a country the size of Rhode Island is somehow controlling the world, the narrative, the genocide that's occurring over the past, hundreds of years. Islam has conquered the majority of the Middle East. There was a great video on all the different countries that no longer have their culture, from Iraq to Syria to the Persians in Iran. Across the board, Islam has come through Afghanistan and decimated the region. They're decimating Europe. They're trying to decimate parts of the U.S. Go to Dearborn, Michigan, and tell me if the Islamification of a region is okay or not. Go over to the Middle East and go to Iran and go to Afghanistan and tell me if the Islamification of the world is okay or not. But then it's so easy. You have this entire Islamic world, throughout the Middle East, and there's this little speck of a dust that's Israel, that's the size of Rhode Island, where, is the national Jewish homeland historically, biblically. It's the root of Judeo-Christian and Christian belief, right? It's not the root of Islam. Islam has come there. The Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem was never a holy site. It was an afterthought, and they built it there because it was on top of the temple. That's why it was put there, but it's never mentioned in the Quran. It wasn't even a thought. It's an afterthought for the entire Islamic region. But then it's such mental midgetry to just cast blame on the Jews and on Israel. If Israel was really in control, Israel would have won and finished every major war that they've been in. Have they won the battles? They've won the battles. Israel's been attacked relentlessly by the Arab world from the 20s into the 30s. You look at the major wars in 1948, the Arab region attacked Israel. Israel is a brand new state, and the Arab world ganged up and tried to destroy Israel in 1948. 1967, again, right? There was a 6-day war. Jordan lost land. 1973, you had another war, another invasion. There's like multiple wars that they've ganged up on Israel. At the end of the day, though, Israel got to a point, like in 1973, they should have gone even further. They should have gone into Egypt. They should have gone into Syria. They should have gone further. In the 6-day war, they should have gone further into Jordan and destroyed their enemy at that point. But you know what happened? The world gangs up on Israel. At that point, they're like, you know what? Okay, you fought your battle. It's time to end the war and pull back. We just saw the same thing happen again October 7th. Israel's fighting this war. They're fighting the battle. The whole world gangs up on Israel after 1,300 citizens were massacred in the worst way ever at the hand of the Islamic terrorists under Hamas. And you think these Palestinian Arabs are peaceful and they want coexistence, where in their charter they're calling for the destruction of Israel and the Jewish people, and then they attack in the most relentless, ruthless way. And I see people in the crypto space even and beyond that say, oh, Israel did it to themselves. Are you fucking kidding me that Israel would do that to themselves? I don't care what you think about Netanyahu, but you're fucking out of your minds if you think that that's true. I mean, you're so warped and demented in your thought process to think that Israel would do something like that to themselves. I don't even understand how deprived and mental deprived somebody is to cast blame that Israel would do it by themselves. And Israel did not fund Hamas. That's 100% inaccurate. There was some initial political uprising at the time that was supposed to undo the Islamist in that region in Gaza. Hamas is directly tied to the Muslim Brotherhood, so all of these things that people actually think is because they don't even understand. They haven't even, they're reading the headlines, they're listening to the TikToks, they haven't even dug down into truly understanding what's really happening over there. But it's not just there. That's just a perfect example, because you brought it up, and it just kills me because you have the people like Tucker and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Candace Owens. These people are just so mentally deranged at this point. They don't even belong to the right. And all of them are hiding behind their so-called Christianity because they're not true Christians. There's no way that they're true Christians, the way that they preach and the things that they say. It just doesn't make any sense to me, Well, and then, the whole thing is just so warped and upside down.
Those are the same people who blame the Jews for killing Christ, okay? who basically don't even read scripture. Number one, don't read scripture, don't know historical background. They're like, but they're like, the Jews are the ones that killed. No, the Jews were, Christ was a Jew. I mean, like, so Christ was a Jew. The disciples were Jews. They were all Jews. Okay. So like, so what are you talking about? First of all, when you look at Pontius Pilate threw it out. He said, who do you want to free? Do you want to free? He gave them a choice. Do you want to free Barabbas or do you want to free Christ? They said they wanted to free Barabbas. So this is how it ended up. So this whole thing because you'll always hear that the Jews are the ones that killed Christ. Christ was a Jew, and they were worried about he was going to have an upbringing. Like, what did he have? Did he have an army? Did he have any weapons? He had 12 disciples that basically followed him around. He had a following, but look what he preached versus what Islam preaches. Love your enemy. He like things that just are hard concepts for people to understand. Not kill, love people who don't believe the way you believe. Islam is different. Kill them off with their heads. After you tax the shit out of them, then you can kill them. But Jeff, this was good right here. Here you go. First time you heard Jeff swear. He dropped 3 F-bombs in a row. It was really epic. It was good.
Did.
Jeff, I'm going to play this again because you mentioned it. Here we go.
Where Islam takes over, civilizations collapse. This is history, not an opinion. Egypt, before the 7th century, a brilliant civilization. Alexandria, the center of ancient knowledge. After the Arab conquest in the year 640, Coptic Christians persecuted, special taxes, elites fleeing, result a poorer Egypt. Mesopotamia, Baghdad, 9th century, capital of world knowledge, science, medicine, philosophy, then Islamic internal wars, Sharia law imposed, economic decline. Today, Iraq, ruined and unstable, Lebanon, 1960s, prosperity. It was called the Switzerland of the Middle East, then the rise of Islamists in the 1970s. Civil war from 1975 to 1990. Result, exile, bankruptcy, chaos. Iran, before 1979, a modern country, growth, open universities. After the Islamic Revolution, religious dictatorship, sanctions, massive impoverishment. Afghanistan, 1970s, Kabul, universities, cultural openness. Then the arrival of the Taliban, brutal collapse. Today, a country ruled by Sharia, famine everywhere. Gaza, 1950s, visible Christian minority, active economy. Then the rise of Hamas, Sharia law imposed. Today, ruins, extreme poverty, massive unemployment. Always the same story, conquest, Sharia oppression, and everywhere, collapse. Egypt, Iraq, Lebanon, Iran, Afghanistan, Gaza, different countries, always the same result. Everywhere political Islam takes power, civilization disappears. Everywhere, political Islam.
There you go.
That's it.
And
yes,
how it works.
Did have ties to the Muslim Brotherhood. The Muslim Brotherhood, and this is interesting too, because we go around the Middle East from Egypt to Saudi to the UAE, anywhere, right? Muslim Brotherhood is banned, right? It's an illegal entity, right? Why is it that you have in all these, majority Muslim countries, why are they going more away from Islamification, meaning this is Islamofascism? Why are they becoming more modernized? Because they understand, right? Why is it that in the West, meaning the US or England or France, why are they becoming more extremist? It's because they don't want them in the Middle East. These are the people that aren't allowed to thrive in the Middle East. That's why it's safer and more peaceful in a lot of those regions. But then these extremist elements that end up in other countries. Now, I'm not going to say that Saudi dollars didn't go to building the vast majority of the mosques in the West that are preaching intolerance, but in Saudi, we see the changes coming out of the Saudi royal family. You see the changes coming from the UAE, where they're modernizing and they're embracing the world, and you see the construction and the boom away from just being oil rich nations, right? There's just so much that has to happen, but those elements that come over here that are linked into the Islamist takeover. There's just so much to it. Now, the other thing, and it's interesting, because we're kind of segueing away from, what we need to talk about. But I think it's really important that people understand the makeup of the region over in the Middle East, because they just so easily want to single out Israel and be like, oh, 1948 is when Israel came into being. Okay, Israel got the modern state of Israel independence in 1948. Okay, that's awesome.
You're a Zionist.
Right. Lebanon, Lebanon got their independence 1943. Syria got their independence 1946. Jordan gained their independence in 1946. And then you go to Egypt, got their independence in 1922. Saudi Arabia was founded in 1932. So tell me exactly how Israel all of a sudden is some outlandish entity.
They also go back 3,000 years. You can tie it.
Right.
3,000 years, Jeff. 3,000 years you can go back.
Right.
Can you do that with any of these other modern civilizations? No. These modern countries? No. There is no historical relevance. Look at this right here, Jeff. Speaking of Mandami and Israel and Netanyahu, listen to this. He was asked this during the campaign.
You and Mayor Eric Adams, your guys' team have met to discuss the transition. You two haven't met yet. When do you plan to meet?
He's currently abroad. When he returns, we'll be having that meeting.
Yeah, so he is in Israel. He's leaving for Israel today. He seems to be sort of needling you a little bit in these final days and certain policy moves that he's been making. But he also invited the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to come to New York City on your first day when you're being sworn in. You've said in the past that you want to arrest Netanyahu for alleged war crimes. Do you plan to arrest Netanyahu on your first day?
So my plan on my first day is to become sworn in as the next mayor of New York City and start to deliver on an affordability agenda. I've said time and again, this is a city of international law, a city that believes in those values, and one that should honor the warrants that have been issued by the International Criminal Court, be it for Vladimir Putin or Benjamin Netanyahu. And I've also said that unlike Donald Trump, I'm not going to create my own set of laws. And what that means is exhausting every single legal option. Now, the mayor is free to travel where he would like to spend the final weeks and months of his administration, and he's free to speak to whomever he would like to. My focus is on actually delivering for New Yorkers. That's what.
Okay, well, New York is not a city of international law. New York City is a city of U.S. law, number one. This guy is a parasite. He really is. I mean, he's like, New York City is a city of international law. No, dude, we don't give an F about what goes on in the rest of the world. We have a constitutional republic. We adhere to U.S. law. This guy's out of his mind. He was never called out on it. And you know what? I got to be honest with you. Adams is surprising me. This guy going over to Israel and then inviting Netanyahu to New York City on the day he's sworn in. This is some next level trolling right there, man. It is really some amazing sort of trolling on a level that I've just never seen. Like I wouldn't have thought that that's what would have happened with him. But I wanted to do. Where's this other video I'm looking for?
More monkey business. More monkey business. Put this up here, and this is interesting because the Christmas markets, in Europe, right? Germany, England, their Christmas markets are a lot of fun. They hold great significance. It's a coming together of the community. They're just so great. But now look at more monkey business saying they're now doing protests through our Christmas Christian markets, shouting Allahu Akbar, and so here we go again. Right. What are your thoughts on that? Just one more, element.
Well, I would just say, like, when they're doing their prayer and they're closing down a city and closing down a road, just go around there and say Muhammad's a pedophile. Married a girl when she was 6 and basically sexual relations at 9. Prove me wrong. It's in the Quran. I mean, it's just tit for tat. But so you have when you start losing, when you don't have respect for somebody else's religion or culture, that's a problem. Okay, when you're going to go the historical relevance of Christmas. Yeah, there's the pageantry that goes with it, and Santa Claus and all that. But you're celebrating the birth of Christ. That's what it really comes down to. These Christmas markets are leading up to the celebration, just like other religions have celebrations, right? That's what it really is, leading up to the celebration of the birth of Christ. It's not about, and so it's just very in poor bad taste yelling this kind of stuff. I mean, but this is it. That's why can you consider anything a religion that just preaches hate? I don't know. I don't know if it falls under the religious thing. Jeff, you want to see the devolvement of government over time from Clinton? We'll start with Reagan, we'll move on to Clinton, and then finally Mandami. So this is the devolution of how we got to Mandami. Check this out.
Government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
We know big government does not have all the answers. We know there's not a program for every problem.
We will prove that there is no problem too large for government to solve and no concern too small for it to care about.
And there you have it. Socialism, the control, the smiling, the lying out the side of your mouth. And this is why this is what it always devolves to, Jeff. This guy, do you know this guy Hassan Piker? He's like apparently the Joe Rogan of the left. He's he went to listen to him talk about China here.
In my conscience, I have already become Chinese. Okay? We were already white Chinese in this chat. I've already become full Chinese. Okay? Let me just start by saying that. It's fucking sick. Okay?
Okay.
Like you have abundant style consumption paired up with a centrally controlled economy and economic system that has yielded tremendous development. You have 1950s Soviet era building blocks next to the Gucci store. If there was ever a country that represented the synthesis, the things that I enjoy so much personally, if ever such a country existed, I do not know. You have to try the premium grilled chicken sandwich at McDonald's China.
What, Jeff?
What did you just say?
I don't know what he's talking about, but here's so this is the same dude. Watch this, Jeff. This is too much. Watch how excited he is at this gift he's presented with.
Oh, no way!
It's a small one.
And it's the first version.
It's the first. Wait.
Yeah. Really?
Is that a Bible? No, that's a little red book. It is based. Yeah.
Mao's Little Red Book, right?
Oh,
that led to 50 million deaths. Okay, so this is the Little Red Book. This is how stupid these people are. They're dumbest humans on planet Earth, right here. Now they say so much crazy blasphemous stuff in this video. Listen to this.
That's Little Red Book.
The Little Red Book.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. Some may say more important than the Bible. Some may.
More important than the Bible. Okay, some say that. No, nobody says that.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy.
Oh my god, crazy. Some say it's more important than the Bible. Does he know what happened with Mao? Does he know the people that died? Does he know the ongoing struggle? I mean, how do you not know this? Like, where would you go to school? Like, what? You're not even semi-curious to know the amount of people that died horribly from the revolution? I mean, come on. This is unbelievable, Jeff. But this is where we're at in 2025. This is a sad thing to say. I will look at this right here. Look what's going on in the UK, Jeff, and you're going to know exactly why this happened in the UK.
I didn't see that.
It's just shocking to see the scale of what's taken place here. Behind me, I think we're probably 20.
And where would you think that is? That mountain of garbage dumped in the river. Where would you think this is, Jeff? You wouldn't think it's the UK.
Is that real?
It's real. Listen to this.
Feet high or so, but running back along this site, doubles in height, and you can see the depth. We're talking hundreds at least, if not thousands of tons of waste. And it's just extraordinary that this could have taken place and that the criminals have put so much waste into our environment. Cherwell District Council officers who know the waste industry well have estimated that the cost of removing the enormous amount of waste here would be greater than the entire budget of Cherwell District Council. That's not something that local residents and taxpayers can afford, which is why I took the issue to government to say that we need urgent help. What's happening is across the country, criminal gangs are dumping waste on this scale, and it's going to require government intervention to allow us to...
Criminal gangs.
Yeah.
Can't even say who it is. He has to say criminal gangs. We know who it is.
Oh, exactly who it is.
I mean,
it's all about destabilization. You bring all these people in, military age young men coming from who knows where, and you're going to tell me that when they come in and deface churches and burn the churches down and put the garbage and make everything look like crap everywhere throughout Europe, you don't think it's on purpose that they're trying to destabilize society? I mean, it's such an obvious objective. I mean, it's right in your face. We're being smacked in our face with reality, and yet people still want to turn a blind eye to it and make up shit. So
yeah, look at this right here, Jeff. This is the new mayor of Seattle. Look at this.
Access to affordable, healthy food is a basic right. We cannot allow giant grocery chains to stomp all over our communities, close stores at will, and leave behind food deserts. Together we can build a Seattle where fresh food is for everyone, not just for those who can afford it. Food deserts are not natural. Corporations create them when they abandon our communities. As mayor, I'm excited to step up and with UFCW explore public option grocery stores to fill those gaps.
Yeah, well, you know how badly this is going to go.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And finally, before we do this drawing and get out of here, I want to get your take on this, Jeff. This is an AI take. And you tell me if it's something, and I want to hear from everybody in the chat. I want to hear everybody that's watching us live. Let's watch this video and let's vote up or down. Is this a good idea or is this not a good idea? If it's a good idea, why? If it's a bad idea, why? Let's listen. Baby Charlie.
Bigger. See? Oh, honey, that's wonderful. Kicking like crazy.
He's listening. Put your hand on your tummy and hum to him. You used to love that.
It feels like he's dancing in there.
Oh, honey.
Mom, would you tell Charlie that bedtime story you always
So now
used to
this
tell
is at 10 months.
Once
So this is
upon
a
time,
virtual
there
grandmother.
was a baby unicorn
Here we go.
who didn't know he knew how to fly. This baby unicorn was like your mom because she didn't know that she knew how to fly, but she knew how to do all kinds of fabulous things.
Hi, Grandma.
Hey, Charlie.
And
How was
here's
school
Will.
today?
It was really fun. I made this crazy shot in basketball.
I don't really care that much about basketball. What about the crush?
Stop. Grandma, stop talking.
Just tell me one thing.
30 years
Who's gonna
old.
be a great grandmother?
Oh, Charlie. Oh, congratulations.
She says that he's been kicking a lot, though. Like, a little too much.
Tell her to put her hand on her tummy and hum to him. You loved that.
You would have loved this moment.
You can call anytime.
Before Charlie.
Okay, Mom, I just need a quick video.
Is this like an audition or something?
No, Mom, just 3 minutes.
You need my best side?
Can I sing another one?
I can play the piano.
She's so talented.
I am. I'm your mother after all.
Keep going. Why don't you start by telling us...
With 2Y, 3 minutes can last forever. 2Y is the name of this company. Jeff, is this a good idea or a bad idea?
Oh,
you can have a loved one be with you forever. In a
forever.
virtual format.
It's kind of terrifying to me.
Just curious what
Don't know if I like that at
here's what
all.
we're hearing. Nope. Boom Boy says nope.
Don't know
Michael says cool.
Cool.
Laurel says Zober says a bit creepy. Laurel's a little bit shock face right there.
It's very
cool. We
creepy.
have loved ones that are gone. It's awesome to remember.
It's cool to remember, but I don't want to have to, to interact with them and then to raise the kid.
No, I
knowing-
mean, like I just lost my dad, in July, and it's like, when you lose your last surviving parent, it hits pretty hard, and I think about him all the time and stuff. But even my dad, who was super into technology, who loved AI, he was for a guy in his 80s, he really knew how to navigate tech. Like he loved his iPhone, he loved apps. He was always turning me on to new apps. Check this app out, it does this. You show me some AI stuff he would do, and even my dad would say, like, that's a pretty bad idea. Your thoughts about your loved ones are here. Now I can understand some people want interface with that, maybe ask for advice or having that sort of a connection. But is it really the person, or is it just their voice? And I mean, if you could do their mental dump of their entire brain into their thoughts and who they were, maybe, but it's still not the person, right? So I don't know.
It'll make it worse. It'll definitely make it worse because you're still holding on to something that doesn't really exist. It's not real.
Still grandma.
Point, not the person. So our memories of the person are so much stronger, because it's in your mind and your heart. It's everything that you're holding on to. That interaction is just that one more. It just doesn't. It's just a little too scary. I would like to have maybe a video of them talking, something that captures the true essence, at some point. But yeah, I don't. It's too much.
It's too much, man.
It could be
robots,
because they believe that you're capturing their spirit in the picture. So they're
right. They're not talking. They're not giving advice. They're not mentioning stuff. It's a whole different story, man. It's a Ellie G. What's going on, Ellie? Long time.
Yeah.
How you been down under? How things going down there? Coming into your winter months? Winter month, yeah, winter. I keep freezing up here. It's driving me crazy, Jeff.
Here's another one from Charles. Tom Brady cloned his dog. That's also kind of creepy because it's not the real dog.
Oh, it's very creepy, Jeff.
Just get another. There's so many dogs that need to be rescued out there. We don't have a dog now, but it's the first time in forever. And it's been 2 years since we had to put Julius down. But every dog that we had was every one of them was a rescue dog. I've been through aggression. I've been through withdrawal. We had a huge dog that was withdrawn, and she would hide it. She was afraid of her own shadow, and just having to work with these dogs is its own reward. And for people to go out and clone the dog because they're trying to hold on to something, there's something wrong with that. There's something grieving is a part. Well, it's funny. Sober just said that. It takes away from grieving. You need to go through that process. It's part of life. And it's
100%, Jeff.
And you said about your dad, and I think about family members and friends that we've all lost, and it's hard, and wish they were here with us. But the memory is everything, and what they've left behind, with us is everything. I don't want to engage with an AI version of anybody. Unless it's like a historical figure, and we're doing like a Ronald Reagan, you can go ask questions and it'll be kind of a cool thing from that perspective.
Unless you're Ronald Reagan's son, that's not cool anymore.
And it's not cool anymore. Exactly. And then it's not cool anymore. But it would be cool to be like, hey, I want
the Pet Cemetery video. Yeah, that didn't work out so well.
God. Yeah.
I don't want to be buried in a pet cemetery. That was a song by the with the movie there. Your stuffed animal. Well, this is what happens too. People they get their dog or pet. It's like you walk in and you're like get freaked out, like, oh geez, it's like it looks like the dog and stuff. I don't know. I didn't want that, man. It's horrible. So I got an older dog. It's like he's now 11 years old and he's declining. You can see he doesn't have the muscle mass he once had. He's kind of losing his eyesight a little bit, just kind of slower on the take. Not that fun dog he used to love to play. And and I have a 2-year-old golden doodle who's got to get his toys and wants to play with his toy and drop all his toys there. And he finds a new toy in the backyard and he brings a new toy in the backyard. And it's like, it's like that puppy energy versus the old dog and that, I think at one time, like it's annoying with the toys and he squeaks it and you're like, all right, dude, enough. But what you realize is like, there's going to come a time where you're going to miss that. You're going to want that puppy back and you're going to have that old dog that struggles to kind of get up and walks, and has joint issues. And so it's a sad thing. And dogs, it's hard to lose a dog. I mean, like, I think this is the last 2 dogs I'll own. I said I would do it again. And it's like, the happiest day you get that dog, like Jess said, you work with the dog, you have the puppy, but when they go, man, it's like, oh, boom, stab in the heart. It's a tough one, it's a tough
Yep. And
plant a tree. Right, there you go. Plant a tree in the honor.
Walked off into the backyard and walked in the lake. He did it. He
went out his way. He went out his way.
He had to go. We're planning that week to bring him to the vet to put him down. And he somehow got out of the house. He could barely walk. He'd get caught up on the grass and just fall over and just lie on the grass. And so we finally were going to bring him. That had friends over. Somehow he don't even know how he got out of the house because the doors were closed and locked, but somehow he managed to get out and he walked off into the lake. Took me 5 hours to find him. And when I finally found him, it was like 45 degrees out. It was cold.
And God.
But you know what? That he chose the way, you know, and that's how dogs are. You know, they're going to go choose their way. You know, and unfortunately, you know, we're kind of in a position, you know, having to bring them to the vet and take care of them and do everything for them, and you know, but not having a dog is a lot easier, but having a dog is a lot more rewarding. That's for sure.
Okay, we got 17 in there, 17 in the queue there. So Jeff, why don't you go ahead and play the tune? And what this is today, what we're giving away is the Badass Yeti song.
Well, let me put that up there.
It's an NFT, which is awesome, but go ahead and play the song, and then we'll go ahead and do the drawing. So if you haven't typed Yeti, please type Yeti.
And here's the song.
From the heart of chaos, they rose. The Ash Yetis, from the White Tribe. Born from lava, raised for destruction, rigged for fire. They stand their ground. Molten souls, forged in a furnace of fury. Cuteness is their camouflage, violence is their core. Their fur sizzles with heat of passion. Their stare cuts through your heart. They are the storm, they are your fear. From ashes to rage, they rise again. That's not thunder. That's badassery, burning under. They don't fight fair, they fight final. Every claw primal, every step vital. Cuteness kills. That's the title. Badass Yetis on the chain. Built for battle, made for legend. Claim yours, or be forgotten. Badass Yetis on the chain is on the chain.
Banger of a tune, man. Banger of a tune.
Wow. Just amazing.
So amazing. So let's do it. Let's go ahead and pull the trigger here. I'm going to go ahead. Jeff, you want to cue the music? We'll go ahead and put this up. Jeff Sutton, there you go. Jeff, are you still here? You please say I'm here. I'm getting my Zaman or Joey wallet. And there we go. Intro to the Yetiverse. There you go.
What's the countdown?
There you go, boys and girls. Let's go. Jeff, you there? Let's see. We've got to hear from Jeff.
Jeff Sutton.
Huzzah. Congrats, Jeff. Huzzah. Where you at? Where you at? We got to see you, my man. We got to see you. Jeff Sutton, big winner. Let's go.
Yes. Oh, finally, first time winner.
First time winner. Beautiful.
Right.
Jeff, well, congratulations. Right. Welcome to the Badass Yeti family. Now you know now you know what you do is you go over to xrp.cafe and you go select yourself a Badass Yeti to go with that tune, either the White Tribe or the Blue Tribe, and go grab yourself a Badass Yeti to go with that tune.
It's freaking awesome. So cool. I love that. I love this idea.
Trump said stimulus checks are coming next year for you guys. They're not coming for me. They're only if you make I think you have to make 150K or less. Then you get the check. Otherwise, you get punched in the face. There it is, Jeff. There's the wallet. Look at that. Jeff Sutton on top of it. Jeff, congratulations. And he's on top of it. There it is. I'm going to go ahead and follow you on X as well.
You got the X. Oh, look at that.
He's on top of it, man. Jeff Sutton is on top. I think
go.
that might be the fastest time we heard. I'm here. Here's my wallet. And here's my X handle. I think he broke the record.
I love it.
Jeff Sutton holds the new record for responsiveness. Guys, let that be a
lesson to you.
Lesson to you. There he is. Look at Jeff. Look at him. I see him right there. There's Jeff. He's a See his picture there. Beautiful. All right. I'm
here
going to
we
go ahead
go.
and give you a follow, man.
Sending this bad boy over. Hang on.
Father of two beautiful girls.
Been practicing for a while.
XRP holder. Worship pastor in Northview Christian Church in Danville. All right.
Transferring over, and
man,
it is on.
Well done, Jeff. Well done.
There you go. Boom. Submitted successfully. You are now the proud owner of this NFT. It's a music NFT. So amazing that we could do a music NFT.
Jeff, you don't mind if I share your profile on the screen, do you? I want to ask you before I do it. I don't want to just assume, but go ahead and say if you don't mind me sharing your profile on screen. Otherwise, I will not share it, but I will wait till you hear. Been practicing for a while for the eventual win. Brings home the win.
Bring home.
Yeah, beautiful.
Big winner.
He says, sure, no problem. He says, sure, okay, good. I wanted to ask first, but there he is right there. There's our big winner today. Let's see, hang on. Of course it would crash out on me, Jeff. I'm really, ever since I did this update, it's been crazy.
What? Man, Chrome is no good.
Jeff right there. Boom.
Automatic.
There's his profile right there.
Okay.
Been on here since 2009, Jeff. Give it a follow. Go ahead and follow him on the chain as well. We like to follow everybody. There you go, Jeff. Congratulations, my man. He finally wins. He was putting in the work. He's been practicing.
Gets one of the cool ones.
Wow, that's good. And there you have it.
Where's the? There
Makes
it
you
is.
stink your litters and kill it. Oh, come on, that's not true. More, but don't be rousing up the crowd there.
What do you say?
Purple Ferret said we had a rescue dog after losing our two pups to old age. She's wonderful and safe now. Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, dogs are just amazing. They're so amazing.
Rescue
he said,
dog.
make sure you stake your Yetis and kill them, bro. Oh, that's not true. My wife and I had a portrait done by an artist of two of our Dalmatians. Oh, beautiful, man. It's awesome, Tony. I mean, I love dogs, and I can imagine not living without dogs. But when you travel too, it's kind of, you got to make sure that your dogs are well taken care of. I usually like someone coming to the house because I don't like to disturb their, they get weird if they go someplace, they come back with stomach issues and they get issues. Dogs don't know you're coming back. They don't know that you're just temporary thing. They don't know why they got dumped off. Last time we had the two dogs together in the same pen, and they just came back with diarrhea and kinds of stomach issues and clinging issues. And I was like, it's traumatic for dogs. So we prefer to keep them in the house, have someone come to the house, take care of them. They have a dog door so they can kind of come in and they can go in and out as they please. But making steaks out of Yeti is a crime against culture. That's right. I think he meant different kind of staking. I think he meant S-T-A-K-E, not S-T-E-A-K. So different kind of steaks there. But yeah,
that's good steak too.
That is true. That is very true. And that's what we have. I had this one story that I wanted to go over, Jeff. It's a real short one, but
all right.
The Shermanator?
Yep.
Well, check this out.
Shermanator.
Why did California Congressman Brad Sherman feel it's appropriate to look at porn on his iPad during a flight? His district deserves better representation than that. So this guy, John Brezahan, interviewed him. He said Sherman denied repeatedly that he was looking at porn or he has a problem with pornography. Sherman said these photos came up in his Twitter feed under the For You heading. Sherman, this was on Twitter. These pictures came up on For You. I must have looked at more than 1,000 posts during his flight, Sherman said. I asked Sherman if it was appropriate for a congressman to be looking at this openly on a plane. Is it pornography? I don't think Elon Musk thinks so. Is it appropriate? No. You have a problem with pornography? Was the question. Sherman said, no, I don't have a problem. Sherman said it's all about algorithms, and it's asserted these pictures came up in his feed because of the algorithms. Sherman, if I see a picture of a woman, I might look at it longer than sunset. Yeah. Sherman, if you have to fly across the country, you look at a lot of stuff on your tablet. The Shermanator, dude.
The Shermanator.
Blaming it on Elon Musk. And I'm frozen again. God, I really hate this new update.
Freezing up. You're frozen.
Ever since I updated Chrome, it's been freezing like this.
And you freeze and unfreeze too, because before you froze and then you unfroze.
Yeah, so you might have to take us out of here because I don't know what the deal is here.
Unfrozen, frozen and unfrozen. All right, well that's it.
Well, that's it. Go ahead, take us out of here, Jeff. You can still hear me, but
yeah, I can hear you. Frozen in time. That's it. That's all we got. Today's Saturday. Tomorrow, Sunday. We'll be back 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's right, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Appreciate everyone for being here with us on a Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, depending on where you guys are tuning in from. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll check you guys out on the next one. Chip, Jeff, we are out of here.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.